Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night. I am your host, Raymond McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
Today, we are continuing our deep dive into Lily Orchard's Sith Resurgence story, which is her original take on the Star Wars sequel trilogy.
Yep.
In the last chapter, we met her main character. Name.
Do you remember her name?
I don't remember her name.
Well,
Do
it's
I?
Aliana.
Darth Simpius?
Darth Morris. That was her name, Darth Morris.
Darth
Amorosa.
Aliana.
Amorosa.
There we go.
Amorosa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember she wanted.
What did I
to take
miss?
a deep dive on Ray.
What did you miss? Okay, so
The origin story of Darth Simpius.
What did we miss?
yeah, so she basically winds up on Jakku looking for parts, and because she doesn't. Just giving you a brief recap of the last last chapter. She shows up on Jakku and parks so far away from the encampment that Rey is at because, she's flying around in like an old, like ancient Imperial spaceship. Like we're talking way before the past Empire. We're talking like back during the Old Republic or like before that, where the
Who's
some funny dude.
Are you
okay?
like, shooting? Are you shooting something?
Are you fapping? Are you fapping live on my stream?
I'm about to say, what is
Me?
that?
Yeah.
No. There's
There's a rapid tapping like.
I'm hearing
Sounds
it from
it sounds
S.
like your mic is stuck
Whoever
in a
S
fan
is.
blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the mic.
So I recommending
Hello.
one thing, definitely push to talk. Second thing, definitely recommending unplug and replug it. See if that works.
Yeah.
But yes, okay. So she basically arrives at the Jakku outpost that Rey is at, and she needs parts. And she goes in, and it turns out Rey is there selling her parts, and she has just the parts that the girl needs, that Aliana needs. So Aliana buys it at a premium, and it like basically makes the entire month for Rey. And while she's there, she's also totally eyeing up Rey. I mean, this girl is just salivating over Rey.
Bro, listen, man. If this place is a desert, but I think we found an oasis somewhere somehow. If y'all get what I mean.
Oh God, that's
Desert
Kaiser, please. It's a river. Anyway.
people do thirsting when they're dehydrated.
But yes, so
Exactly,
basically they go back to her ship, install the parts, have a nice meal, kind of have that will they, won't they energy going on, which remember, will they, won't they is a really, really dumb plot point, everyone.
Oh yeah, it's a bad plot point,
bad plot
guys. And
point.
if you do it, you're a huge
Hold up.
turd who's
Hold up.
addiction peddling.
Let me finish the summary.
Who would dare put those in a list of writing tips, in fact, and like post them on the internet? Who would do such a thing?
Certainly not Lily.
Not
Orchard.
me.
Silly, yeah, certainly not.
No, definitely.
Lily Orchard is
not.
above that.
But
Perish the thought.
on top of that, at the very end, she ends up flying around and then discovering a nearby village that has been destroyed, and it is the village from the very beginning of The Force Awakens, where Kylo Ren killed a whole bunch of people, captured Poe Dameron, and basically let BB-8 escape. And completely against the entire fact that she is a fucking Sith Lord, which is only hinted at, she actually really lazily waves off. Yeah, totally. I just carry this lightsaber for show. It doesn't actually work. Yeah, no one fucking buys that lady. Yeah,
But
Rey did. But Rey is so far not exactly. I mean, she's got only sand up in her head.
Yeah.
She is a mouth breather only, considering how often Daisy Ridley never closes her mouth.
Oh my
Calder
God.
Phoenix has conservative leaning ads on his stream.
God.
Wait, what?
Interesting. Okay.
I used to get PragerU ads on my videos all the fucking time.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? That is unfortunate.
Well, obviously,
Obviously, Fat Man is far right.
I was going to say he totally has a subscription to Hustlers University, guys.
Oh
But yeah,
wait, Fat Man, you're not far right.
I'm far wrong.
Sir, well
Far
played, well
wrong
played.
falling.
but to finally cap off this little summary, she basically finds the old dying guy who kind of looks like John Hurt, but isn't actually John Hurt. He's dying, and he's like, "Will you help us?" And she's like, "Yeah, all right, bet," and just kind of agrees to it, which she has no reason to. She's a Sith, and she's just kind of leaving the planet. It's like, why are you staying for any of this? You should just fucking leave.
So what you're saying is that he went from being John Hurt to John Healed?
Because
No, he still died.
Oh, that's John Dead then. Okay.
Okay.
No, he goes to John Headless because she mercy kills him by fucking decapitating him.
Mupa was speaking, Dreadnought.
Was worse than
Oh,
that.
sorry.
She explicitly left the desert planet to go to the planet where the massacre happened to see the John Hurt guy, and then I guess is going back to the desert planet.
Oh, no. To clarify, this is all happening on the same planet. Is she just like she like puddle hopped to like the next settlement over where the massacre happened?
No, what? Wait, no. Wasn't it in the movie that the massacre didn't happen on Jakku?
No, it did because
No, it was on-
BB-8 rolls off into the desert to get found by Rey.
Yeah.
Also, doesn't Kylo cut not John Hurt down the middle?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, he does. I think she noted that he got cut down the middle, and so he was dying somehow, still not dead,
Yeah.
despite having
I-
you
How
know,
that works.
a several like almost a foot gash in his chest. You know, ignoring that.
All right, sure, yeah.
I mean, at least that's consistent with Disney Star Wars, so you know.
Yeah,
can't
no,
fault
actually,
him for that.
considering Disney Star Wars, I was expecting him to actually make a full recovery.
Guys, no, it's
No
Exactly.
one's
It's
ever
not-
really gone.
It's not lightsaber slashes that aren't immediately fatals. It's stabbings. You have to remember, if you
Right,
cauterize
right.
everything in the internal organs, they're perfectly fine. But if you
Right.
slash them a bit,
It's got that
Anyway.
forced in.
With
Unless
that
you're Qui-Gon.
summary, with that summary,
Qui-Gon.
we are looking at probably an hour or two, like an hour to an hour and a half of reading, as is typical for us. Though, considering I'm now reading off the nicer PDF because formatting on AO3 for streams is kind of a pain. Now that I'm reading off of this, I don't know quite how to gauge it. I guess me and Twy will trade off at all the different chapter breaks or the page breaks or whatever. So we'll figure out how that goes as we go. Some of us we might read longer, might read shorter. We'll see. But yeah, we're aiming for about an hour to an hour and a half worth of time. So everyone sit back, relax, grab a nice beverage, and remember the rules that I and Twilight are the priority speakers. So if we're speaking or if we're trying to get the show moving on trying to keep on through the story, please respect that and stay quiet or quiet down when we start speaking. Yeah, we don't mind your quips, comments, jibes. We actually encourage it, but just keep it under control. Don't go off on long tangents like I do whenever I try to explain these rules. And yeah, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy. Kylo Ren was deeply disturbed, more so than usual. The rest of the crew had noticed. The finalizer had been extremely quiet ever since he'd returned, which was a pleasant change from the Dark Jedi's usual screaming and lightsaber damage every other week. Alrighty, all right, pump the brakes. The
Okay.
finalizer? What the fuck? What is
is that
that?
the name of his ship?
Also,
Because-
we're about to see her cut.
Sounds like a wrestler name.
Basically, as like a tantrum throwing baby. We're about to see that.
Which is about how as much as she describes him in her videos and shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Now,
has
in
a
fairness to
massive hate
her-
boner for Kylo.
That is one of the Kylo Rens that we see.
It is something that we see him do, and it's very entertaining. But it's not going to be anything beyond that. Is my point.
And now,
That
in
is
fairness to her,
Wild.
that is kind of what we see. I'm kidding. I'm taking pot shots at him. Look, let's just say you break down the writing of Kylo Ren. It's not very good, and Adam Driver carries that role fucking hard.
He does.
100%.
He does.
He really does.
Less is hard.
He doesn't believe in phoning it in, which props to him.
Stormtrooper deaths had dropped 80% in the last day alone, and General Hux seemed to be a lot less tense than usual. How many people
Hold up.
have you fucking killed, Kylo? Holy shit!
Yo, bro, like,
You were just
calm
having a
the
bad
fuck
day.
down.
Guys, this is the same. This is the same guy who keeps the ashes of his victims in an ashtray where he stores his helmet. Are we really this surprised?
Wait, is that
Actually,
That's
yes.
Edgelord?
Actually, yes. Like, you would expect them to be villains of some sort, antagonists for them. But no, just straight up, I'm just killing stormtroopers to keep the ash pile fed.
Like, dude, we don't have the clones anymore. You can't
What
just
happens
go
to
around
old
doing
ash
that
shit?
Oh, it's the name of the ship. Okay, you got to establish that. You got to
Oh.
establish that, Lily. You can't just throw
It's,
proper
it's
noun
that
at
kind
us.
of thing where a lot of fanfics do this. They just write and they assume you know everything. The author.
Yeah. Although, unfortunately for Star Wars, there is so much that has background detail and information that you just... It's not like in most anime where you know almost all the proper nouns. No. Star Wars, you got to actually get like a dissertation.
There's a hyper metal called Frick in the Star Wars universe. We're not gonna know the name.
Frick.
Yes, Frick.
Yes.
Look it up. No, look it up. It's real. But to
Also,
have
PDF crashed. Yay!
oh, fun.
Oh.
But
Good.
like it's the point that I was making is like here's this random thing that's like actually super important. 99% of people are not gonna know what this is, and like unless you've got a ship like say the Millennium Falcon, people are not gonna know like the names of ships off the top of their heads.
Well, no, she did it wrong. She didn't put the name of the ship in italics. That's when you know it's the name of a ship.
Well,
Oh,
who's they? What the hell is an aluminum falcon? Oh, just rebuild it? And who's gonna give me a loan? You? You got an ATM on that chest of yours that's a light bright? Oh God, he's crying.
What a wonderful thing to join to.
I'm dying.
I wasn't following along. Was that actually in the fanfic, or did you just
No.
add that little
My
bit in?
my PDF crashed,
Okay.
so I was reciting something from
That was
From Robot
Chicken.
Yeah, I appreciate that
impressive.
reference, by the way. Thank you, Celtic.
I too
was-
appreciate it if it didn't make me choke.
what a
Also-
wonderful welcome to this place. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, also-
So,
welcome.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
like it here.
Please obey the rules. I and Twilight are priority speakers. We like your comments and jibes and critiques and such that come through, but like we do want to get through at a nice fast pace. Unfortunately, the first
we can
3
get the
sentences
PDF.
of this chapter have been filled with things worth commenting on. So,
Love-
unfortunately,
lo-
yeah,
lovely.
so-
I'm always here for bad fan fiction.
Also, I do want to mention that, like, as much as Kylo Ren and a lot of the other characters in here aren't very well developed characters, that still doesn't mean that they don't have any kind of character
true.
at all. And Lily is still flanderizing him to some degree in order to make her ship the more palatable one.
okay, I'm
Right.
totally giving him stereotypical emo boy. Okay,
Well,
every
that's what
time
she's doing
I
to
read
Kylo.
as Kylo Ren, I want you all to imagine crawling in the background, like the song "Crawling" by Linkin Park. Anyway,
I don't know.
Going in my skin.
This is what she's doing with Kylo Ren. What's she gonna do with Finn when he turns up?
Anyway,
Oh lord.
Ren, on the other hand, was anything but pleased. He'd felt a surge in the dark side after Tuanal was destroyed. He thought it was from the brutality he'd enforced on the villagers, but it had come from somewhere distant on Jakku. He hadn't been able to pinpoint it before it was gone, but he'd felt enough to know that something strong in the dark side of the Force was on the planet. How strong? He couldn't tell. He couldn't yet tell, but strong enough to warrant investigation. My lord? Yeah? Ren asked, turning his head only slightly to acknowledge him. The scouts had come back from their survey, and they found an ancient Fury-class Imperial interceptor sitting in a dune an hour from Nima Outpost, the trooper explained. The initial report suggests... Did you say Fury-class? Ren asked, slowly standing up. Yes. And what did the initial report suggest? They saw a young woman leave and return to the ship several times over the night, the stormtrooper explained, growing increasingly nervous. And a lightsaber was on her belt. Was this woman a Jedi? Ren asked. He knew that was impossible. There were no Jedi left. He'd personally seen to that. Nevertheless, dude, all right, let's get this out of the way, Kylo, just so you're not surprised. So Order 66 happened, and we're pretty sure like 90% of the Jedi survived that somehow.
No,
What about Luke?
No, that is
Is
an
he-
Empire propaganda piece. Order 66 didn't happen.
Yeah,
Guys, even if like it did, does he think that Luke is dead?
Look, guys, I talked to Chief Palpatine. He
All
said
the
there was no
Jedi?
fix.
Okay. In fairness
That's
to him,
insanity.
if he knows that Luke isn't dead, but I don't think he's also assuming that Luke got a sex change. So
Okay, fair.
I mean, yeah.
That's true,
Also, remember, this is after.
It's just weird
the
to
freaking
say
original
that like
trilogy.
all the Jedi period are dead, and that's the reason why you assume that it couldn't have possibly be. But I mean, like not Luke, but I mean even still, the fact that like there are Jedi alive is like that kind of defeats your argument.
Yeah.
The point I'm making.
Excalibur 2343 says, "Hi, just popped in. Are we at the good part yet?" Dude,
Yes.
dude,
There's a good
look,
part.
we're making it the good part. We always make it the good part.
This isn't the good part.
We just started, so we'll have to see.
We're not even past the first page.
Is this woman a Jedi? Ren asked. He knew that was impossible. There were no Jedi left. He'd personally seen to that. Nevertheless, the Jedi were historically resilient, always coming back from one purge after another, just as powerful as ever. Oh, Jesus Christ, is that just the history of the Jedi? I mean, I guess we have two major bullet points for that, but one was a legitimate, like, large-scale purge, and one was just like a high school shooting. So, I mean, like, I don't know if one equates to the other, and I don't know if that's the pattern you want to say that with the Jedi here. No, Commander, the trooper said, shook his head. We ran scans of her through the recognition database, and the results were inconclusive. Yes? Ren gestured for him to continue. She's a Sith Lord. There have been rumors and sightings regarding the Sith all across the galaxy for the last few years, the trooper explained, bracing himself and waiting for a lightsaber to strike him. Ren, do you just... I hope that the finalizer, which, God, that's an edgy name for a ship, keeps like a constant therapy staff on there for these poor stormtroopers. I know they don't.
You just know that like that was a ship that was christened by Dr. Doofenshmirtz himself.
Oh yes.
Behold the finalizer!
So, sir, let me get this straight. You're going to put... Sir, let me get this straight. You're going to put a well-respected general with years of history behind the wheel, right? Ah, no, give it to that angsty kid over there. I'm sure he could use the shot.
Oh God, he also got to choose to pilot.
Oh wait, I
And Barry the
forgot.
Platypus.
They had in the freaking Star Wars parody in Phineas and Ferb, Doofenshmirtz was freaking Palpatine. I remember that. Oh my god.
A platypus Jedi? Patty the Platypus Jedi?
Okay. You see, there was the point where we needed to wind it down. We breached that point. Let this be a lesson. You're all wrong. Me and Twilight are right. Okay, let's carry on. That last part was kind of a joke, but also not kind of a joke. All right, anyway. Ren seems to lose his composure as he turned and looked out towards Jakku. The surge in the dark side he'd felt before. There was no mistaking it now. There was a Sith Lord on Jakku. How many times can I say Jakku? Shall I, organize an attack force, Commander? The trooper said. No. Ren shook his head. Continue your search for the droid. I will visit this Sith personally. She is a potential ally. In his head, he added, or a dangerous enemy.
I love his Keanu Reeves stoner voice.
What?
Apparently, that's what that's apparently my emo voice. I just.
It's a good emo voice.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
you're
then we
that
get our-
hedgehog.
We get our obligatory picture because why do we have prose when we just have pictures in our books?
I mean, it's not
Is-
even showing
Yes, I
the
too
scenes
see
in the
you have
book.
removed several ribs in order to thin yourself out.
It's so weird because it's like the point of an illustration is to show what is happening in the scene, but this isn't even connected to it.
I like how
So it's like, why is it there?
the line work like is very cartoony in the way that obviously they don't have the clearest understanding of form. But like what gets me is like, oh, you look at the lightsaber handle and it looks fine on first glance, but then the more you look at it, the more you realize that the crossbar is like crooked and off center, and it's like there are things here that aren't quite straight aligned as they probably should be.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
I just noticed that. I can't unsee it.
Yeah, I know. I noticed it, and I'm like,
that,
I must
Raymond.
inflict this upon everyone else.
How dare you, sir?
Why?
Ugh.
Wait, is it because like the lightsaber cries crooked?
That is exactly
All
what I
right.
just said.
Aliana was exhausted. Her clothes were filled with sand, which she was coming to find was a truly horrible substance, and her search throughout the night had yielded no results. It seemed whatever had sped off into the desert was truly lost unless a scavenger found it. Aliana didn't even know what she was looking for, just that the trail had gone cold after a desert wind had kicked the dune up around it. And without knowing what she was looking for, she couldn't have 2V scan for it. It was early morning when she made it back to her ship, kicking herself for continuing to dawdle on getting a speeder. She continued trudging through the sand, the thought of a future wash and a nap being the driving power to keep her walking, when she saw the shuttle land just a few meters from her ship. A First Order shuttle. And its occupant was blocking the ramp.
This was
A
by
tall-
far the weirdest Uber she had ever ordered.
A tall, hooded figure in a vented helmet. Aliana recognized him as Kylo Ren, the dark Jedi who commanded the First Order. The stubborn aftertaste of the late Galactic Empire. This wasn't good. Being in the First Order's radar was exactly what she wanted to avoid, and now one of its highest officers was standing outside her ship. Aliana approached with her guard up and her hand hovering just over her lightsaber.
Jeez, Aliana, it's almost as if agreeing to help the guys that were just slaughtered by the First Order might get you put on the First Order's radar. Huh. Strange how that is, isn't it? Also, this is another quirk that happened last chapter that I kind of fell under our radar here, ironically.
Yeah.
Is that everyone kind of knows everyone already? Like, Kylo Ren is very well known, even though several characters in the original film didn't know who the fuck he was. So
Yeah. It's weird. It's a small galaxy after all.
there's only
It's
like 5
surprise
episodes.
duel, though.
Why
Hello,
everyone's scared to
Sith.
comment. I feel bad now. I just look at everyone's like quiet.
No,
I'm
I
like,
thought you were going to move on right after that.
Well, yeah,
I
no, we were,
The
but,
only
like-
thing, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I have to clear my throat, so I just mute my microphone. So that's what the silence is usually.
No ASMR.
No. No ASMR for you.
Damn.
Hello, Sith, Ren said, in what was probably supposed to be a friendly voice. It was difficult to tell from the garbling of his helmet's voice filter. Aliana glared back, not interested in even pretending to be friendly. What do you want, Jedi? I am no Jedi, Ren said, his voice cracking ever so slightly. You aren't Sith either, Aliana spat, her hand resting on her lightsaber. And you aren't welcome here. There is no need for hostility, despite how naturally it comes to your kind, Ren said, bowing his head slightly as if that would abate the sneering tone in his voice. I only want to talk. Then talk. Aliana kept her hand on her lightsaber. Well, first I must know. How are the Sith still alive? I thought after all this time they would be truly extinct.
Are you not a fucking Sith? Like, I mean, I guess it's something that the fucking sequels never really addressed. But what is Kylo? What even is he? Like, where does he stand on this whole thing? Is he a Sith?
What's Snoke?
What is
An
Snoke?
enigma, an enigma wrapped in a mystery in a broken plot point.
I thought Snoke was a soup.
If I may.
To be fair, to be fair, after the midway point of The Last Jedi, he's an open-faced sandwich.
Yes. The Last Jedi.
Black Wolf 249 says, "God, if only the anti-cliche and Mary Sue Elimination Society were here. They stopped this fanfic the moment it got really bad." Dude,
Yeah, probably.
what the hell are those things?
It's a-
Is there an organization that's going to start chasing us down now? The Mary Sue Elimination Society? Are we on a list? Are we on a fucking list?
We will be
Amazing.
found.
Finally.
They'll find us all.
More clout for us, that means.
I'll go down
danger.
fighting.
We are in big danger. Okay. That's what most of the galaxy thought for about 1,000 years. Sith never truly go extinct, Aliana said, relaxing slightly. I'm the last one. You talk as though you're a species.
Okay, now in fairness, Sith, if I remember the lore correctly, started out as a species that then turned into a profession thing?
Religion.
I'm not, I guess religion, yeah.
Oh.
But you're not wrong. Also, at the same time, how do you know you're the last one? Last I checked, like being an asshole with force powers is kind of a thing that anyone can do, especially given Disney lore.
It's
Also-
the whole role of two bullshit. Don't overthink it.
Who trained you? Kylo pressed. Was it Palpatine? Vader? My mother, Aliana said sadly, looking away from him. Darth Merrick. I'm not familiar with that name. Ren tilted his head, eyeing the Sith and watching her movements carefully.
It sounds stupid.
You won't be, Aliana glared back at him. My family did a good job hiding from Bane's Sith and the Empire, and from you. But why hide from your brethren? Ren asked. He was fishing for information, but the question was sincere. The fact that there was a Sith Lord actively avoiding the First Order was troubling. The First Order aren't my brethren, Aliana scoffed, a scowl crossing her face. Excuse me. A scowl crossing her face as she looked at Kylo Ren with utmost disdain. They idolize an empire built on deception and treachery. I gain nothing but...
Wow, that
That's gonna age well, isn't it?
who's gonna tell her? Says the girl who cons the poor out of their rations.
This is...
Among other things.
Remember, I did say that she didn't really understand.
Yeah.
Even though that she liked Star Wars so much, she didn't really understand the concept of the Sith or the evil concept in Star Wars.
And she's actually right along the lines of the Star Wars writers of modern days that don't understand that the Sith. No, the Sith are evil. They don't have to be strictly, but it's very, 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 very easy to be evil as a Sith, and it's very, very difficult to be good as a Sith. Right now, she's making being kind of a good person look really easy as a Sith. That should not be the case. It should constantly be an internal war.
Wow, Raymond,
Yeah.
you sound like such a centrist asshole right now. Lily's rules, not mine.
Oh my god.
Are you kidding me? I'm far right by her criteria at this point. Apparently, just by having the conservative ads apparently on my stream.
Damn.
You know
Have
what?
I
I'm
agreed
right
to
there
jump
with
on
you,
a
buddy.
stream with a far right YouTuber?
Deji Milwaukee, I'm
do we
not
need to
reading
read my
that. If it's a
Patreon right
spoiler, I'm not reading it. Don't put spoilers in the comments. I would like to be spoiler free as I see the insanity of these stories.
Oh, did you get to the part where Snape kills Dumbledore?
Fuck, man.
Snape kills Dumbledore?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
all right. Yes.
I'm the Dark Lady of the Sith, not a Jedi wearing some dead man's clothes. Your master is nothing compared to me.
Lily, why would you name her that? Why would you call her?
Also, Lily,
I
how do
can't
you
tell if that's
even
intentional
know?
or accidental. Either way, it's not a good look.
Also, how does Aliana even know where Kylo even fucking came from? It's so weird.
Lance Corporal anime guy, as a Star Wars fan, everything is just shit. Everything is just shit. It's sad. Yep. Unidentified Imperial nurse.
The Supreme Leader is wise. Kylo Ren spat, growing increasingly bitter. He will hunt you down and destroy you for your insolence. What a lovely way to say you intend to lose today. Aliana sneered. With that, she activated her lightsaber. The crimson blade glowed faintly in the growing daylight, and she spun it behind her back as she paced a circle around Ren.
Growing.
Just growing, you know.
Growing.
Okay.
Kylo Ren was fuming at being threatened by this relic of a bygone era, as his master Snoke would put it. Despite his own desire for a peaceful exchange of information, his ego got the better of him as he activated his lightsaber and charged. Aliana smirked and blocked his wide swing, keeping the blades locked as she ducked under his arm and slashed down his leg. Ren growled in pain, turning and swinging wildly. Aliana parried the attack and kicked Ren off balance before taking a quick slash to his mask, carving a gouge into it and exposing one of his eyes.
Okay.
That was immediate.
That was easy.
Yeah.
Very opposite of.
We're gonna have our
behave.
We're gonna have our main
He'll at least calm
character.
during the first fight.
We're gonna have one of our main antagonists attack the main character. Wow, it's gonna be really hard for her to beat this guy as soon as she shows up. Actually, it's gonna be super easy, barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Me
too.
Barely an inconvenience.
I love that guy.
He's so good.
Yeah.
She was quite amused. Kylo Ren's form was slow, heavy, and extremely open to counterattack. His movement suggested that he was wielding an 80-pound vibroblade rather than a plasma weapon. The knight's slow, predictable movements reminded her of the training droid her mother had her practice on as a child.
Sorry, Aliana knows all about vibroblades. Sorry, I couldn't resist that. Anyway, continue. We've been tangenting too much.
The momentary whiff of nostalgia adding to the general entertainment of her opponent's utter worthlessness. You swing your lightsaber like it's a club, Aliana snickered. What kind of Jedi are you? Ren reached up and touched the slice of his mask. He was fuming as he staggered to his feet, swinging his lightsaber down towards Aliana's head. Again, his strike was blocked as he felt a foot hit his head and send him back into the sand. Before he could pull himself back up, Aliana's blade was at his throat. You have two choices, Aliana glared down at him. Leave or die. Ren laid all but helplessly in the sand, unsure of how this confrontation swung so swiftly in favor of the Sith. For all of his training, all of the darkness within him, he still laid there, besieged by the bested by the stranger. Yes, I know. I was correcting myself.
In time delay.
I'll leave, he said, glaring at Aliana with hatred in his one visible eye. Aliana deactivated her lightsaber and jerked her head towards his shuttle. Well, go then. And don't trouble me again or I'll have your head. Ren got up slowly and walked to his shuttle, the sheer humiliation of his defeat only making him want to lash out at the insolent Sith even more. He restrained himself, as even in his furious state he could tell he was outmatched. He internalized his hatred, allowed it to fill him up as Snoke had taught him. Now he had a goal to reach, an opponent to overcome on his path to power. This Sith must be strong, he thought. That Jedi was pathetic, Aliana said as she watched the shuttle take off, looking confused. That's who leads the Knights of Ren? He fights like he's never held a lightsaber before. Aliana had considered killing him, but it would have been unwise. Killing Ren would have brought the entire First Order on her tail. It likely would have been brought onto her tail anyway. But at least striking a bargain had a chance to let her leave without being pursued to Odessan. Still, she couldn't shake the Jedi's clumsy lightsaber skills from her mind. He had to at least been trained by someone. Why did he handle his weapon with such needless weight?
I don't understand.
Okay, there's something I just don't get. She knows he's from the First Order, yes?
Yes.
And like,
Correct.
but she keeps calling him a Jedi, so she must clearly know that he's not a Jedi.
Well, she called him a dark Jedi at the very beginning of this, and like, which is like the dark Jedi thing.
That's just a Sith.
Well, no, it's not. It's actually a
No,
distinct thing.
no,
The
it's
idea is
not.
like a
Right.
someone who still has Jedi like nobility. It's more like a gray Jedi than anything. It's hard to fucking like actually parse this because lore has become so muddied. But the idea of a dark Jedi is just a Jedi who has decided to kind of go rogue and do their own thing, and also like he's kind of a loose cannon cop who don't play by the rules.
Also, it doesn't really matter to get us off into the weeds, so let's not start a conversation about it, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get everyone done.
Wait, Top Gun
Remember
Space
the
Samurai.
rules, you guys. We said it at the beginning of the stream. Aliana shook her. Aliana shook her head in confusion as she headed back to the Fury. Withdrawing the ramp and sealing the door, she collapsed onto the bed in her quarters and stared up at the ceiling. How exactly did such a weak Jedi become the commander of an entire military force? Why did his lightsaber have exhaust vents? Why was she still wearing her Sith robes even though they were infested with sand? Sand doesn't
Don't you just
infest.
hate sand infestation?
Yeah,
And
it's just
I wake up in the morning
It's
just
everywhere.
covered in itchiness because like I throw my blankets off and oh my god, my bed is infested with sand. How did all this sand get in here, guys?
Don't like sand.
I mean, it does get everywhere.
If sand gets everywhere, I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of the Midwest. If that happens, I'm sorry. I'm screaming and y'all hearing it.
I was gonna say.
Y'all.
She jumped out of
Texan.
bed and wrenched. She jumped out of bed and wrenched her tunic over her head, letting out a sigh of relief as she felt the entire desert of Jakku fall to her feet and off her skin.
Whoa.
Okay, you know
That's
what?
a lot of sand.
I like that description. Like
Yeah, that
I
was a
think
good
that's fun.
description. Once I find what vanished into the desert, I'm never coming back here, she groaned, kicking her boots off and making a beeline for the shower, the annoying distraction from that dark Jedi far from her mind.
No, you fool! You'll just make the sand wet. It'll become even more powerful.
Oh no.
That's how it becomes mud.
Okay, I'm gonna take the next two because that one was really long. I just wanted like
It was long.
That was impressive.
And boring.
Aliana
Also,
stepped
Raymond,
out.
don't forget when you do. Sorry.
When I do what?
I was gonna say when you do Kylo's voice, he's wearing his helmet, so you might want to do like that weird.
Yeah, no.
Like,
I understand that. I understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, the witness protection voice he has.
Yeah.
We know.
I'll do what he did that. Adam Driver did that skit where he was playing Kylo, playing undercover boss, whatever the technician.
Oh, really?
You guys remember that? Like advertising
radar technician.
Which one?
Which was like the last time that Star Wars productions actually had fun. Anyway, Aliana stepped out of the shower, a loose, comfortable robe wrapped around herself. She yelped as her feet touched the cold metal of the ship and made a mental note to put down some carpets in the main living areas.
Huh?
Look, you're gonna get Ray soon enough. Ow! Sorry.
Please. Please.
Oh my god.
Please. Hold yourself back. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
An impossible challenge.
Also, lady, you've lived on the ship your whole life. You would have thought about that years ago.
She collapsed into a heap on one of the couches and sighed happily. She felt clean, relaxed, and had a moment of respite before she was forced to go out into the desert again and ruin her entire life. Cloak next time, she muttered to herself. Less sand getting into the folds of my robes. I mean, maybe? I don't know, man. Sand is pretty pervasive. It infests things,
It
you
is.
know. 2VRH took that moment to waddle into the lounge of the ship, from the engine room. Master, I do not wish to intrude on your relaxation time, but I couldn't help but hear a commotion outside as I was checking the hyperdrive, which is operating at peak efficiency, by the way. Might I inquire what transpired, if we were in any danger? First Order was outside, Aliana muttered, sitting up and brushing the wet hair out of her eyes. And yes, we're in danger, but we can't get out of it until we find a droid that Jedi was looking for. Did he mention the BB-8 at all?
No.
No.
How do you know that?
She
Clairvoyance,
read the
obviously.
script.
Oh, is that what's down the ground?
I'm real tight with JJ Abrams. He told me everything.
Oh dear, V2 said solemnly. Perhaps this time I am finally on the cusp of my inevitable destruction. If I may be so bold to ask, Master, why are we involving ourselves with the affairs of Jedi? I mean, after what befell Master Merrick, I was under the belief you wouldn't want to go anywhere near them again. Oh, is it Merrick, not Merrick? Master Merrick. Aliana looked up at 2V, her lips pursed as she thought about why she was doing this. She wasn't being held to the promise she made to a dying man. She was keeping to it of her own volition. Of course, this wasn't no ordinary Jedi situation. Can you please not use double negatives like that, please? Do some.
No, impossible.
She can't not.
Well, never not.
The Jedi believes himself to be my kin, she explained, and I won't take such a personal insult like lying down. Oh, but of course, Master. 2V replied, bowing slightly. The First Order and the Galactic Empire before it are but shallow reflections of the proud lineage of your Sith heritage, and such a cheap imitation cannot go unabated after all. Okay, so wait. They're cheap imitations. Does that mean that you're into it's not that they are doing the genocide. It's that they're not doing enough of the genocide. It's
Shameful. Remember, guys.
Okay.
Remember, guys. The
All right,
Sith
Lily.
aren't necessarily evil. Okay.
All right, Lily.
Lily
I see what you're going for here. Aliana is just absolutely into eviscerate like 90% of the galaxy. Got it.
She sounds like fucking Karen Travis.
You haven't heard the half of it.
Oh my god, she sees Starkiller Base, she's gonna just be like, oh my god, Kylo, take me now.
No,
if that doesn't happen, she's out of character, Lily. Just pointing that out there. Anyway. Thank you, V. Thank you, 2V. That'll be enough brown nosing for today, Aliana said, waving the droid off. Of course, Master, 2V said before waddling away. Aliana stepped into the cockpit to look outside. The sun was barely rising, and she'd been out all night searching for the droid. Now that she knew what she was looking for... How?
No.
Did we miss something in that last conversation?
Did I miss a page?
I don't think so.
It might...
From the beginning of the chapter, it seemed like she didn't even know what to look for.
It might be easier to locate it, but for now, she desperately needed some sleep. Proud lineage, she scoffed. I'm a drifter who works as a merc to get by. I haven't killed nearly enough innocent people. She trudged her way to the... That was my ad-lib for the record. For those not watching the stream, which you should be keeping your eyes on the stream. Just keeping that out
That's
there.
why I laughed.
Because I will improvise, and it will be funny. But it
Yeah,
will also
how else will
confuse
they
the
keep
fuck
an
out
eye
of
on
me.
the screen when they subscribe to the Patreon and get access to the Tundra Discord server?
Oh my god. Dude.
Keeping the bit alive. It's been a while. I had to do it.
She trudged her way to her quarters and sealed the door shut, collapsing onto the bed in a heap. Her fatigue seemed to magnify tenfold as she slipped under the covers, and she soon drifted off into a peaceful slumber. Ray's eyes snapped open. She suddenly jerked upright in her hammock. She was unsure as to what it was that actually woke her. Not a nightmare, that was for certain. Oh god. Oh god, don't do this, Lily. Don't. This is rated T, right? This is rated T, right?
Until it isn't.
At least none that she could remember. No, this was more of a bad feeling. She could faintly recall the awful sound of scraping plasma and the smell of burnt steel. I mean, In fairness, you could just be having a stroke, Ray. Very possible. Pulling herself out of the hammock, she rubbed her head and tried to process what she was feeling, and felt something sink into the pit of her stomach, and as her gut told her, it came from the direction of the Fury, where she'd met that girl. Was she okay? Was she in danger? There was a cold, sinking feeling in her stomach at the thought of anything happening to her, which she tried desperately to push down as she gathered her things. There were plenty of components to salvage, and she wasn't about to waste it worrying about someone she barely knew. I mean, you can give yourself an off day. You kind of got, like, rations and pay for, like, a month or two. You're, like, set for a while. You can take a day off.
No, it's all about the hustle.
Anyway, regardless, though, I gotta admire the hustle.
Yeah.
Gathering her staff, her net, and her facial protection, Ray made her way to the speeder. Climbing into the seat, she steeled herself and devoted her entire focus on going to work. Mood. She was accustomed to shifting her concentration to scavenging in order to discard whatever complicated feelings she was having. It did her no good to dwell on them, not when she had to survive. And survive she did. She managed to beat her personal best on valuable components, pulled from the wreckage of a Star Destroyer. She knew Plutt would rip her off, but she'd kept some of the most valuable parts. Her encounter with Aliana the day before had taught her to hold on to certain things, as there may be ways to get better prices for them later. She stashed a high-capacity fuel converter and a tiny shard of kyber into a small... tiny shard? Oh my god, what?
Wait, what the hell?
Isn't kyber, like, super rare or something?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's only on, like, one planet.
One person at a time, please, guys.
My bad.
What happened?
She has a kyber crystal.
Just random.
She just has one.
Ray or
Ray.
original character?
Ray.
I mean, the main character has a lightsaber. She's fine, but like, Ray should not have a piece of kyber. Anyway,
Just randomly.
she stashed a high-capacity fuel converter and a tiny shard of kyber into a small compartment in her speeder and hung the rest on the side. She was right. Plutt did undersell her, but thankfully, she hadn't given up the converter or the kyber. She took her quarter portion and left. It was still food, and she'd rather not burn it all the ration packs that Aliana gave her unless she really needed them on days when she couldn't get anything of value. Okay, you know what? That's fine.
That makes sense, yeah.
Oh damn, she's
Oh wow,
saving.
Lily's somehow making Ray the best written character so far.
Uh-oh.
No, why did you jinx it, Celtic?
Because I can't wait for it to go horribly, horribly, horribly wrong. Her mind wandered back to Aliana. The girl gave Ray an even better deal than she promised when she came back to her shelter and realized she possessed double the agreed-upon portions. It all but baffled her as to why she did that. That much food couldn't just be given away on a whim. Why would she willingly part with so many supplies? Because she's not from this fucking backwater planet that requires trading food to survive. Like, she can fly to planets that don't rely on a barter system.
It's true.
Perhaps there was indeed kindness and generosity left in the galaxy outside of Jakku. It made a part of her wish that she had just asked Aliana for the ride out of there, at least to the nearest spaceport. But Ray shook her head out of that notion. No, she couldn't leave yet. She needed to stay put. As unfortunate as her situation was over the years, she knew it would be worth it when they came back, and she knew they would come back. They had to.
Did they, though?
Ray took her speeder back to the downed AT-AT she called home and set about preparing her meal. Still, her thoughts drifted back to Aliana as much as she tried to push them out. She couldn't help her curiosity. Everything about her was fascinating. Her ship, her attitude, even that broken droid. She eventually found herself... Oh my god, never mind, Ray is an idiot. I forgot. That was the whole thing. She just did not pick up at all on how subtle, quote-unquote, Aliana was being.
For real.
She eventually found herself sitting outside eating as she watched Jakku's sun drop, occasionally watching ships leave the atmosphere. Okay, I know what you mean. It's like drop below the horizon, slowly. But I just imagine, like, it's the middle of the day and the sun just... just like absolutely just rockets down.
Like a fucking Looney Tunes sketch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Someone just like someone cuts the string the sun was hanging on. I wonder if one of those is the Fury. Her gaze was transfixed on the horizon, so much so she hadn't noticed the small spherical object that had been rolling in her general direction. It wasn't until a series of cautious yet inquisitive beeps rang in the air that Rey's attention snapped to the present. The object was a droid, one that rolled along the ground on its lower body. "Hello," she said, looking confused. "Can I help you?" The droid beeped happily and wobbled on the spot. Rey could barely make out its variation of droid speak due to the sheer speed with which it was beeping. "Hold on, slow down," she said, laying a hand on the droid. "What do you mean, lost? What the hell's an aluminum falcon?" The droid repeated what it said, albeit more slowly as Rey requested. Still, the way that panic and desperation seemed to seep into its synthetic language made it a bit trickier to follow. "All right, your master is somewhere else, and you have to wait for him." The droid beeped an affirmation, and also, Lightning just hit us with a meme. When an ugly stranger calls you twin, no bitch.
Oh my.
That's fucking great. Okay. Damn it! I missed it. I just looked at the clip that you the thing you clipped away, which was the Jedi believes himself to be my kin, and I won't take that such personal insult lying down. What if Rey's involved? Anyway.
Oh my god.
I can't believe I missed that one, and just the bite of it is just gone now that we've already run past it so far.
It is beneath you and you know it.
No, it's not, because Rey is beneath her. Anyway.
I walked right into that.
So will Rey. Ayo.
Yeah, we're just assuming that she's a top. Okay.
Sky Slasher says chicken sandwich. Thank you.
She gets the password.
I would very much like a chicken sandwich. That'd be very nice. The droid beeped an affirmation. "Oh, I see. Well, I know what waiting here feels like," Rey replied, her thoughts drifting elsewhere for a moment before returning her attention to the droid. "Well, here." She began running a hand over its head. "I doubt he'll want to see you again with a broken antenna." With a careful motion, Rey adjusted the antenna to its original upright position. "Better?" The droid chirped happily in confirmation as the alert went out and the armada descended on its location. No, sorry. That would be the hilarious twist.
That would be cool.
I'd like that. I'd like that.
BB, you ratted me out to the fence.
You know, I may know someone who could help you, Rey smiled. "If she hasn't left the planet yet, why don't we head to Nima Outpost in the morning? If your master is anywhere, it's going to be there. And if not, I have a friend there who could help find him." Okay, wait. Rey, wait. What about Aliana told you she was good with tech? Didn't Aliana need your help to install shit on her ship? Didn't she explicitly say that she was a terrible mechanic?
Well, she did say that she was never able to change the droid's, IFF to call her not a Sith Lord.
Right.
Like that's part of her cover.
Like why would you bring her? Why would you bring BB-8 to her? Like you're just so hard up for Aliana.
Raymond.
No, legitimately. Like this isn't like a joke. This is legitimately just like
I know, it's so weird. This is so wild.
Yeah, I can't even download Space Python.
This is the the porn where it's like, did someone call a plumber? No. Okay, I must have got the wrong address. I'll leave.
What?
And then you do the other thing.
Oh my god.
the 1
Also,
minute
wasn't Ray
porno.
supposed to be German the last chat?
The droid processed the information. Ordinarily, he would rather they find his master as soon as possible, yet her logic seemed very agreeable. You say, trusting the words of a complete stranger. After a moment of processing, he let out a beep of affirmation. Rey smiled and lifted the droid, who identified himself as BB-8, to the into the AT-AT. Oh, you're at the AT. Okay, sorry. I forgot that she lives in an AT-AT. I completely blanked on that. Traveling at night on Jakku was unwise. Native species and humanoids roamed at night and didn't much care for anything that breathed. She had a fair few scars from learning that lesson the hard way. Taking shelter at sundown was the only way to stay safe in this horrible place. Hopefully someone at the outpost could help him. Help them. Them plural. How long is this chapter? Oh my god. Okay, how much longer?
I was about to say
one,
she cranked
three,
it right out
4.
after the first one compared. Yeah.
This is more fucking false endings than Lord of the Rings 3.
We have 5 more
dare you.
pages. Hopefully we can get through that. Oh my god.
Lord.
Yeah, I regret for saying that.
Also, I found a picture of what the species Sith apparently looked like. It looks nothing like Aliana.
Yeah, no, the Sith as a species went extinct in the Old Republic, and now they're just like a religion.
No, I was not agreeing in saying that she was an actual Sith alien.
No,
species.
I think that the narrative wants us to believe that she is the species Sith.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I was not actually reading that. I just
She
assumed
doesn't
that
look
she
like it in
misunderstood
the-
what Sith means because she doesn't understand what fucking Sith means. Sky
I
Slasher,
mean,
don't tell
it
me
could-
that. They get longer.
So yeah.
It could be like one of those religious things where it's like you're not a proper Catholic, even though you do everything a Catholic is supposed to do. I guess.
Deterex, how do you make things look so cute?
I know, right?
Big champ.
You've endeared me to Rey more than the actual sequel trilogy has.
Bro,
That is not that hard, and you know
I'm
it.
excited for Echoes of Wisdom speaking up. Shout out.
Aw.
Anyway,
You just
Fly.
made our night. Thank
Yes.
you.
Apparently, Rey is better in the books.
No, we're not sand. We're at the break above that, I believe.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. I didn't fully go back up when I was looking at how much we had left.
Saying I understand. Completely understand.
Aliana's day could have been better. The sight of the TIE interceptor speeding toward the ground in a death spiral certainly didn't help, and the strong force presence she felt inside it didn't help either. She ran toward it as it fell, taking note of the distance and expected crash site being about 10 kilometers from the Fury. She reached out with the force and gripped the fighter, slowing its distance and redirected it toward a sand dune. From 10 kilometers away? Wow.
Wait,
Just jump or run. I don't know.
With a growl.
okay, that's wild.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fine. You do you. Have fun, honey.
With a growl, she wrenched it out of its trajectory and toward the dune where it landed with a thud. Before she could relax, however, she saw a body get thrown from the cockpit and toward her.
Is this how you're explaining Poe? He just gets yeeted out of the fucking cockpit and Aliana?
I no longer vibe with this cockpit. Yeet.
Yeetus
I'm pretty sure the fucking G-forces would have fucking killed him.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, this is no
They
different
yeet
than the
now?
actual sequel trilogy that doesn't bother to explain jack shit about his survival. But still,
Yeah.
it's just hilarious.
He survives because the plot demands it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Panicking, she reached out and slowed the body down to a crawl, gently laying him in the sand a few hundred yards from her. Okay.
Also,
Sure.
holy
Aliana-
shit, the level for force power.
Yeah.
Just ignore it.
I mean, Starkiller was able to yank down a Star Destroyer.
Just close your eyes and think of Andor.
We're ignoring that one too.
Aliana rushed out toward the body. The force both augmented her speed and kept her steps light upon the sand. Why didn't you do that from the beginning? Then you wouldn't be bitching about the sand.
I guess the argument would be, oh, that'd make it more likely for her.
It
to
froze
get
again.
killed.
I'm reloading it.
Oh, okay.
Public stream died.
I was gonna say, however, it's a 700-page document doesn't exactly stabilize very well on Acrobat. Apparently,
No, it's clearly her force
I can
power
load
that
this
she
up in
reached.
Caliber, I
Stream
wonder.
got force choked, guys.
Yeah.
I'll try loading this up in Caliber next time. Maybe or Calibre. I'll see how that works.
Yeah, it might
kinda
be a good
covered.
idea.
Just have an open in browser.
Because it doesn't
But,
format correctly on the browser.
Oh damn, that is a opening picture for the entire fic. I saw that for the first time.
Yep.
Wait, what?
It's that bad, huh?
Back to
I've
it.
seen forced choke before, but I never heard of forced scuff. That's a new one.
Forced scuff?
Forced scuff.
They
Yes.
scuff now.
What is
Okay.
They're
We-
stuck now. Sorry. Yeah, let's continue.
Okay.
There's also
Shush, shush, shush. The man laying in the sand before her looked like he went through absolute hell, but her senses told her that he was at least alive. Perhaps the shock of being jettisoned from the cockpit simply knocked him unconscious. All the same, this one wasn't the force presence that she felt from high in the air. What was more interesting, though, was that he didn't look like a man who had any business being on a TIE interceptor. Her eyes widened in realization. This had to be the Resistance pilot, the one who knew the location of Luke Skywalker. She quickly lifted him up by the shoulders and under the knees and ran off toward the Fury. If her assumptions were correct, he needed to be out of plain sight as soon as possible. She got him on board and into the medical bay, ordering two VR8 to tend to his wounds and alert her comlink if he woke up. If the pilot was on Jakku, the pilot's droid likely was as well. Donning her dark cloak, Aliana rushed out of the Fury and made her way to Nima Outpost once more. If the droid was anywhere for miles, that would be the most likely place it would turn up. Most droids were programmed to seek out populaces when none were present. Her goals for the outpost were threefold. 1. Find the droid and get him back to the pilot. 2. Find the force presence that was with him in the interceptor and determined if it was friend or foe. 3. If at all possible, keep Rey out of all of this. Why?
Why?
What if Rey
Because
is
she's
you?
Darth
Oh,
Sith.
it's simple. The plot demands it.
Eh.
Yeah,
Her general-
plot says so it has to happen.
Her general weakness for a pretty face aside, she sensed Rey's innate talent in the Force. She knew the First Order would be on top of this entire planet before long if they knew a powerful Force sensitive was here. The Knights of Ren... The Knights of Ren proved quite inept, but they would act on a potential new recruit if they found one. Little did she know that a kindred spirit was slowly making his way to Nima Outpost with much the same attitude.
Okay.
This is the long one, right up to the end.
Oh no.
I got it.
Home stretch, boys.
Sand. Sand, 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 sand. Sand for miles. Sand as far as the eye could see. Sand mountains and valleys. Sand reflecting light to make you think there was water, only to rip it away like the cruel mistress of fate it is. This was Finn's life now. No First Order, no Poe, only the sand to toy with him until his inevitable, horrifying death. It seems that fate intended to punish him for refusing to kill in the name of the tyrannical regime. If the price for being honorable was a gruesome death, no wonder there was so much evil in the galaxy. Part of him was wishing he was back on the Star Destroyer. At least there was water there.
That's
What?
Actually, that
No, that makes sense. I like this introduction to Finn.
I do too.
That's fun.
Yeah.
First time at Backup Night where we praise the author.
Yeah, no, we do occasionally. If we see something good, we call it out. It's fair game.
That's a path to the dark side, Raymond.
You pretend as if I was ever on the light side. You have not read the fics that I have enjoyed.
Oh my god.
What we read here on Bad Fan Fiction Night is only what is morally acceptable to the sensitive feelings of the general populace. No, I have dived deep into the depths of hell, my friend, and I have smiled for every fathom I have plumbed.
And then Lily strikes the stream.
Have you ever heard the tale of Darth Copyright? No, it's not a secret. That I would tell you.
Okay, all right. Settle it down.
That
Sorry.
a majority
My apologies.
Disney owns.
I just have 3 words: Sailor Moon fanfic.
Oh fuck. All right, no, yeah, that one I'm glad we never. Yeah, that one we don't need to retread at all. That one crossed the line.
Mm-hmm.
There was also the certainty of death and the knowledge that he would have been selling his soul to something truly horrid. After everything he saw in Tuanul, which, God, I fucking hate that place's name, he would rather take his chances with death, but that didn't make it any less terrifying. A few times he could have sworn he saw the TIE silencer fly overhead, but it never seemed to stay in the air for very long. It just circled around him and then vanished over a dune. It was certainly bigger than a silencer, but shaped in a rather similar fashion. He was starting to get nervous with the ship flying above him like a bird of prey every hour. If it's the First Order, just kill me already, he grumbled, watching it take to the sky and fly towards him again. To his surprise, the ship actually landed down in front of him. Panic started to well up inside him as he quickly realized he had nowhere left to go at this point, and he had no energy to fight. Any attempt would likely get him blasted by the ship's weapons. That panic only worsened when a hooded figure came out of the loading ramp and towards him, a canteen in their hands. Are you... Oh, she's not wearing like a voice changer. Are you all right? Came a woman's voice from beneath the hood. Finn relaxed slightly and only felt more confused. If this was the First Order, he'd certainly gotten the most cordial knight he'd ever met. What? I said, are you all right? The woman asked, taking her hood and pulling it down. Finn was confused. The woman looked more like a stormtrooper, or rather, every stormtrooper he'd ever seen with their helmet off, minus the mandatory buzz cut. In fact, she was actually quite pretty. Wait. Oh, I gotta read that again. This woman looked like a stormtrooper, or rather, every stormtrooper he'd ever seen with their helmet off, minus the mandatory buzz cut. In fact, she was actually quite pretty. Finn, were you eyeing up your fellow stormtroopers?
No, I think this is trying to imply without saying that all the First Order troopers were black kids like him.
Except for
but without
wait a minute.
Writing.
I mean, I never really presumed
he's
that.
never seen like a stormtrooper without a buzz cut.
No, I was gonna say,
you
like,
can't exactly. Sorry.
If we're presuming that every stormtrooper was black, oh no, that's a Star Wars.
Wait, if
No.
If every single one was black, does that make the destruction of Starkiller Base a hate crime?
Oh, absolutely. Sky Slasher says, I guess you could say he
Well,
doesn't like
don't you remember
sand.
the,
It's coarse, rough, and irritating and gets everywhere. Yes, guys, we've been making that joke endlessly.
Yes. No. Actually, can you imagine just like fitting dreadlocks underneath that helmet, or just like any kind of long hair?
It'd be great.
Well,
Absolutely
said
great.
that-
No downsides.
He said that they were all buzz cut. So.
Yeah.
I know, but
Finn was confused.
Yeah.
Sorry. Here, she said, reaching out a hand to hand the canteen. It's water. Finn drinks it. Oh God, why does it burn? Fire water. Sorry, I should have clarified. Finn's worries and fears were almost immediately forgotten as he seized the canteen and opened it, taking a long gulp from the cold water inside. It was true what they say. The closer you were to water, the worse your thirst became. Ain't that true, Aliana? Huh? Ain't that right, Aliana? Huh? Real big thirst there, Aliana.
5 minutes.
Oh,
right
glass
now.
of water over there, Aliana.
Like
By the way, that was my best
thing.
Australian accent. Anyway.
Ugh.
Ew.
Yeah, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, I can't do an Australian accent for that's why I don't do it very often. The cloaked stranger's lips quirked in an amused, lopsided grin. Careful now. Swallow that too fast and you might throw it back up.
Oh my God.
Finn didn't verbally respond, but began taking noticeably smaller gulps. You have a name? The woman asked. Finn took the canteen away from his mouth and wiped his lips. His stormtrooper number was immediately called to mind before he remembered the name that Poe had given him in the ship. Finn. Aliana. Aliana smiled and glanced back at the Fury. What are you doing all the way out here in the dunes? Finn shrugged, coming up with a lie on the spot. Speeder crash. Uh-huh. Aliana eyed him suspiciously. She could sense that he was lying, but a single unarmed man was no danger to her. Well, would you like a lift to Nema Outpost? I was just about to head there to meet a friend of mine. Would certainly be better than dying of thirst in the desert. I don't suppose you offer transport off-world? Finn asked. There was a tiny sliver of hope that he could get out of this mess knowing that this woman was friendly. Aliana shook her head. Probably not where you're going, but maybe there's someone here there who can. Besides, I have unfinished business in Jakku. Like what? I'm looking for a droid, Aliana explained, turning back to the ship. A BB unit. Finn scoffed. Everyone's looking for a BB unit. Everyone's looking for BB units. Aliana turned back around, eyeing him suspiciously. Are they now? Uh-oh. Finn had said too much. Like an idiot. He swallowed nervously as he tried to come up with another lie. I heard a Resistance pilot mention it. A couple of days ago. Aliana eyes narrowed harshly, and Finn became even more nervous. This woman was frightening, and had a glare that he honestly swore could pierce through his soul.
Oh my God, Mary Sue Harder.
It pierces
It
through
can
his
pierce
soul
through
more
his
than the
midichlorian
lightsaber
count.
does.
How'd you get an excerpt from the sex scene? Anyway.
Oh my god.
off.
Also,
What?
Yeah, that's
why
the
don't-
title of your sex tape.
An excerpt from the what?
I'm kidding.
Now?
Also, Twy, don't you know that is an
Damon, stop looking
incredibly
into the future.
sexist, derogatory term, unless Lily deems it correct 6 years ago.
Uh-huh. I know.
Excalibur 2343 says firewater. Isn't that just sparkling water? No. No, it's alcohol. It burns your throat. That's why it's called firewater.
No, firewater is just oil.
No, no. That's just what fuels fire.
Truly
Oh,
spicy
my
water.
Give me fire, give me that which I desire. Ugh.
Okay.
Emma Rochiri says Finn does a lot of swallowing, it would seem. Oh god, is this a shipping
Yeah, how else
Finn
did
with
he have to
Poe-fic?
take all that force sensitive?
Ayo.
No, we're talking about a bad fan fiction, not a bad anime.
The difference.
The bad fan fiction was more entertaining. Anyway, sorry, the bad anime was more entertaining. That's what I meant to say.
I was about to say.
I think you should know, Finn, that lying to me isn't a wise idea, Aliana said, her lips curling into a smile. It may just be the last thing you ever do. I'm just careful about who I share personal information with, Finn said, feeling an oppressive cloud of fear drape over his mind. All at once, he realized that Aliana's intimidating presence wasn't entirely natural. Something was screaming with his head and filling him with terror. He remembered feeling something similar back at the village in Kylo Ren's presence. It did feel different, however. Better? Worse? It was hard to tell.
Well, I was feeling fear better.
It might not.
Because fear makes you alive.
It might have made him scaroused. Who knows?
God damn it! You beat me
Or
to
he's
it.
just trying to say her OC is better than
Kylo, yeah.
making people afraid.
Then, as if it were a bad head rush, it lifted. He looked back at Aliana, whose sinister smile was replaced with a sweet, friendly one. All right, she said, turning around and beckoning for him to follow. Finn walked up the ramp to the ship briskly, feeling it unwise to keep Aliana waiting. As she stepped inside, his eyes wandered around the Interceptor's design. It was as similar to his old life as the exterior was. The entire ship looked to be a rundown First Order Corvette. Wait, no, Imperial?
The Corvette?
Holy shit! If it's a Corvette, that's fucking giant. Like to give people reference, a Corvette is what you see it's the very first ship you ever see in Star Wars. Like the blockade runner, I think, is Corvette class.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
That's a
Tantive.
boy. The rebel ship, right?
Tantive 4.
It's
Yeah,
like
the
flying
Tantive
around
4
in a
Princess
fucking
Leia ship.
battleship. Anyway, I'm not First Order, Aliana interrupted. This ship here is older than them and the Galactic Empire, because I'm special.
course.
I wasn't trying to assume anything, Finn said hastily. Aliana sighed. Pardon me, it's just been a trying day. Tell me about it, Finn said sympathetically. Ah, hello there, came a mechanical voice that made Finn jump out of his skin. Ah! He screamed, quickly turning around to see a droid standing right behind him. Oh, come on, man! What are you doing sneaking up on people like that? Oh, my apologies. 2VR8 responded sincerely. God, there's got to be an easier way. That's a mouthful of a designation. Scaring you was not my intention. I am pleased to accommodate any guest of Aliana fixed 2V with a murderous glare. Any guest of Lady Beneco's. 2V quickly corrected himself. Would you like a beverage? A hot meal? Perhaps one of our fancy guest throw pillows? You have
What?
I would.
fancy guest throw pillows? Oh, I'm down for that.
sure.
That's fine.
A murderous Sith droid offers me a throw pillow. I'd probably take it.
Sky Slasher can
Yeah,
offer you
throw
an egg,
pillow.
a nice egg.
When
and
it's just thrown
just
at you, you will fall asleep.
I would like to point out that because I've been looking up a lot of stuff ever since I found out that Ruby only has that one type of ship. Corvettes are basically destroyer escorts in terms of ship formations. Like think of the
Okay,
Lore.
that's
So, yeah.
good lore information to know. Thank you.
The more
Look,
you
I'm
experience
sorry. I don't mean to
combat.
rush you. We're near the end. I can see it in sight. It's almost here. We are so close, and I am tired.
That light at the end of the tunnel isn't heaven, it's the sea train.
Okay, guys, chill.
Yeah. Finn, despite getting over his initial shock, still looked visibly uncomfortable. No. I'm good. Very well, sir. Let me know if you need anything. With that, 2V turned around and walked back down the hall from whence he came. Excuse him, Aliana said, before making her way to the cockpit. He likes to be helpful. Not like me, a Sith, who is actively helping people that I don't even like or know. I guess, Finn said, following Aliana. So nematodes, you said? Nema outpost, you said? Indeed, she confirmed, prepping the ship for launch. You sure the locals won't mind the sight of a First Order looking kind of ship? He asked somewhat nervously. Perhaps they will, but I've already had more than my fill of walking in this damn desert. Aliana said, glaring at the sand outside. My mortal nemesis, sand!
She
It's
starts
very
dropping.
infectious.
She just starts glassing the entire place.
Besides, this whole planet might have to deal with the actual First Order ships before long. Why is that? You know something? Finn asked, even more noticeably on edge. Aliana simply looked at him from her seat. I'm very careful about who I share personal information with. Bum bum ba-dum. Wow. She replied. Okay, fair enough, Finn accepted, sitting down beside her. Before long, the Fury was in the air. All right, next stop, Nema Outpost, Aliana said with a wry smile.
Har har.
Aha.
Ray laid back on her hammock as she thought about the woman that she'd spent most of the evening with. She'd been giving her funny looks the entire time, always smiling at her and blushing whenever their eyes met. She was kind of cute, especially when that dark freckled face lit up with a smile, that burgundy eyeshadow making her smile pop even more.
Oh dear.
She quite enjoyed the evening. It was nice being able to talk to somebody who didn't want something from her. Well,
I was waiting for it.
Thank you
What
so much for that.
timing?
Lord of mercy.
I've been waiting
Really made me
all
wait.
stream to do that.
Absolute legend. Thank you.
Flawless timing.
That
Also,
was a
I'm confused.
wham.
Hasn't it been like a day or two? Like, it feels like
Yes.
time is like
Oh, yeah.
jumped. Like, what evening? Did you write this and then not correct it?
it has the same
Probably.
that Rings of Power has. You can't tell what time it is.
Well,
Matches would
she
have a better
had
watch.
shush the hyperdrive coil, but she didn't have to cook for her or spend the evening indulging her. Once their business had been concluded, Aliana had welcomed Ray into her home to just socialize. She'd asked about herself, indulged in her love of machines, and had been so easy to talk to, easy to get along with. It was almost as if she'd had a friend. It was nice, she thought as she rolled over and pulled her thin blanket over herself.
Why a thin blanket?
Chapter end notes.
We are
if you
finally
enjoyed this
done.
chapter, leave a comment explaining why.
I'll leave a comment.
Oh
So
my!
in the Chris-
Oh my God, Lily, you just self-burned so hard.
If you enjoyed this fanfic, leave a comment explaining how.
Maybe a like, maybe a personal
It's free
message,
content,
maybe a
thrives
friend
on
request.
interaction
I
and
don't know.
feedback. But I love the idea. It's like, if you enjoyed this chapter, leave a comment explaining why. Like,
Yeah, please tell me, why do you like my fanfiction?
Why do you like
about
me?
my
I don't
fanfic?
understand.
Be sure to show your work in the space down below.
And also, don't recommend me anything because that's a breach of my boundaries.
Also,
Also,
APA's notation.
maybe friend request me on Instagram or something. I don't know. It's
But only if you're a hot woman.
Lily, I
Well,
can't
guess I'll
give
be
you
on my
my
way then.
recommendation on my thoughts of your fanfic because that is a breach of your boundaries.
Oh my god.
Oh Jesus.
When was this written? 4/13/21, so 3 years ago.
When did Rise of Skywalker?
Not
Oh, wait, was
2019.
it
2019.
Okay, so it was post Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, this is.
Yeah.
I always forget how long ago Rise of Skywalker came out. Like, it always feels like it came out like 2 years ago. But
Yeah,
it's
we're about
actually
to end.
yeah, same.
it's almost
We're
been
about to-
5 years.
We're about to enter nearly 6 years of no major Star Wars movie.
I can always remember that Rise of Skywalker came out before 2020 because I remember being in a theater that had actual people in it.
Oh,
damn.
Well, that's the first
we
problem.
live in a post-Tross
You
world,
actually
guys.
went to go see the film. That's the first problem we're having here. Because
So did I.
Well, I didn't pay for the movie tickets though, so I am not at a loss.
Oh, that's fair.
I, for one, went to India.
Yeah, okay, just be clear. You killed the person that gave you the tickets, right? For the insult, right? That is at the very least worth a
man,
glove to the
when-
face.
Yeah,
That's a Tinder date to see Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, Rise of
When my
Skywalker
brother
was
and I
terrible.
saw it-
Everything was rushed, and I lost my hat in the theater.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, so you absolutely should kill the person that brought you. That just a strict loss of everything in that.
You guys not hear what I said?
Skywalker.
No, we did, we just didn't care.
Skywalker took everything from me: my brain cells, my clothes.
I have nothing left except Spider-Man.
Literally, I have nothing left except Spider-Man. Why are we talking about Star Wars? Spider-Man's coming out.
Oh my god, that's a deep cut.
I was making a Spider-Man 2 joke, but sure, that works.
That's a deep EFAP cut.
That is. All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you had a good time. I can't wait because I'm having decent fun with this. It's weirdly still Lily's hitting kind of a sweet spot right now. It's decently well written, like in terms of like the actual prose itself. It's a little repetitive here and there, but so far it's been pretty well. But she's hitting like error per word at a nice enough pace that we can make consistent jokes out of this. So it's like so far I'm enjoying it. I can't wait till we get deeper in and shit goes off the rails where I assume it's going to go off the rails.
And even more needlessly horny.
Oh, absolutely. I really would love to be able to apply to her the same criticism I do to Mycan. Oh my
Yes.
god.
Oh,
That would be
shit.
legendary.
I love the fact that we went from Star Wars has very bad romance in the movies to now the only romance that's there is just sexual
Without
entropy.
spoilers, all I say it
Says
becomes
being
more of
Lex.
a slog. Oh. I hope it's a good slog for the fodder. Like,
well, given how she made like not one but 2 whole videos because of certain reactions to a certain part of the story, I think we're in for something very special.
oh, is it where the Gardevoir shows up?
I'm sorry.
The what shows up?
Oh,
when the
do
one
you
shows
not
up?
know about the Gardevoir?
No, I don't know about the
I'm sorry.
Why the fuck would I be yelling if I know what the Gardevoir?
Okay. I should clarify. It's not this story, but there is a Gardevoir associated with Lily that has a wild history in its fan fiction.
Wait, like
Oh, yeah.
Pokemon?
Wait.
Yes,
okay.
the Pokemon.
What, like God of War?
Oh lord.
We are
very
talking
same.
we're talking the most fucked up form of pokophilia. Like we're talking
Yeah,
Oh my god. There really is no
Or-
rules against the
like she has a Gardevoir child that is half human, half Gardevoir.
Wait, what?
Yep,
No
that's
memes. No memes. It's real.
No.
We have photographic evidence.
I remember being shown this, and I think I just
Yes.
repressed the memory.
Oh, you absolutely did. I can guarantee this is what happened because I repressed that memory and then reacted live on stream to not realizing I had heard it before. It's surreal. But
This
what's
is
even
my
better?
paralysis demon.
What's
Raymond.
even better?
Now it's yours.
What's even better is that that's not even the worst thing about that story.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It gets worse
No,
to the
it's
point
not.
that I hesitate to mention what's actually in the story, lest I get taken off of YouTube.
I want to sleep, Raymond. Have mercy.
Anyway, if you like trauma like this and more, please consider donating $1 or more to my Patreon. For that, you actually get access to the Team Frostbite Discord server here, the Tundra. And with that, you regularly can interact with me, Twilight, Fat Man, and a whole host of other people who are from around our sphere of the internet, including people like Periodic Pete here and Kaiser.
Hi, I'm other people.
Yeah, you're other people.
Thank you for naming me.
Hello there.
What do you mean, other people?
Yeah, and if you're unfortunate enough, you'll interact with Dreadnought. Anyway, I'm
my
sorry,
God.
Dreadnought. I'm sorry, man. I can't help but take pot shots at someone.
How dare you? He's a perfectly capable ship.
Yes, I am. Thank
Unlike
you.
the one we're reading, right, guys?
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
There, Kaiser, you got one in. Excellent. Good boy, you're learning. Read Pokemon
Man,
Madhouse for a
really-
future stream. It's so peak. Is that the one? Because if that's the one, no.
That
I think
is
that's
the
the one.
one.
That
That is the one.
That might go on the list, but that
Don't
might have to
talk
be
about
like
it.
heavily edited. That might be like heavily censored.
We'll probably
Well,
have to
what we're
strip
gonna
that
have
one.
to do, what we're gonna have to do is, we're probably gonna have to read the insane parts off stream.
Make it a
Yeah.
Patreon thing. Like if you hit
Which
Patreon,
kinda defeats the
on
purpose.
Patreon, you can watch the uncensored version. YouTube. will have the censored
Possibly a Patreon stream might not be a bad idea, actually.
Can you
Yeah.
stream on Patreon?
You heard that?
Yeah.
No,
Join
you can't stream on
Patreon,
Patreon,
access
but we can
Patreon streams and also
You-
join the Tundra Discord server.
we can figure it out.
You can make an unlisted stream on YouTube and then only share the link to your patrons.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
There is
no.
one thing I would recommend, but I'm just not going to do it.
Well, we can handle recommendations later. For now, I hope everyone had a good time. I hope you all had a blast. Remember, there is a merch store for Celtic Phoenix on my YouTube channel. Just go to my channel, scroll over. It should be linked in. It should be a Teespring for Celtic Phoenix. You can Google it if you want. It's it's all just good stuff on there, fun stuff, simple but good. And yeah, that's about it for the stream. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.